morning, and good afternoon. Welcome back to DC, where I am your host, Drew Collins. Welcome back to DC TV. The best Bengals network in the greater Cincinnati area. And if you're new around here, welcome for the first time. You like what you see, and you enjoy, hit the like button. And if you are a Bengals fan, or you just are enjoying the content and more, and you're not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button. We are on hashtag road to 2K subs. We are less than 50 subscribers away from 2,000 subs. And when we hit 2,000 subs away, I am doing a jersey giveaway of the new Bengal jerseys that should be releasing any day now. Any day now. We are still waiting on the jerseys. But when they release, yeah, I will be doing a giveaway on those beautiful new stripes. So welcome. Shout out to John, Britt, other John, LT, Dave, Houday from Florida, Houday Buzz, Lil Josh Houday, and LT. What's up, LT? The longtime mod in the chat. She put a link to a website called Discord. It's basically an app where where it's 100 plus people, and all we do is talk Cincinnati sports, totally free. The chat is doing something really weird right now. I don't know why the chat is all the way over there. Let me fix that. Give me 1 second. I'll fix that chat for you. Not sure why it's all the way over there. Houday, and welcome. You see the title of today's stream. We're going to be talking Bengals football and some more free agent possibilities. One in particular in mind, and this time around, will be Josh Reynolds. I've seen a lot of connections of why he would be a good fit to our system, as he already knows it, having former contact with Zach Taylor, and he would be cheap. I'm going to go down into those details. Let me go ahead and try to fix the chat first. Yeah, let me move this. There we go. Let's move it over here. There you go. Now you guys can see what you're talking about on screen. There we go. Perfect. All right. Welcome. Shout out to Shia Burford. Hopefully I'm saying that. My most recent subscriber. Shout out to Drake, my recent donator. Shout out to Tony for my all-time donator. 1950 subs, and then go ahead and follow me on my social medias, especially my Twitter. If you follow my Twitter right now and then at me that you followed, or just say what's up or Houday, I'll give you a shout out and I'll follow you back on that beautiful Twitter app. I guess we can call it beautiful. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this down real quick. Look a little. I'm pale. This looks pretty pale. Hopefully I look a little less. I feel like we're a little too strong. Okay, maybe that looks a little better. Let me know. Okay, maybe I still look really light. Nonetheless, what do we say in the chat? Do you want Josh Reynolds to come to the Bengals? I do very. I want him bad. I want him really bad. So it was brought to my attention by one of my mods yesterday, Drake Berry. We were talking about Trey Turner. If you didn't see that stream, go watch that. It was over 3-hour streams talking Bengals free agency. First, 30 minutes an hour was all Trey Turner. And then I kind of, turned my head to what other free agents are out there and what, positions do the Bengals need to address. And we're like, well, they could address receiver in the draft, mid to late rounds. But what are our options right now? Somebody that's not going to be expensive like Kenny Golladay, but somebody that's still going to be able to come in and fulfill some playing time, is going to be effective on the field. And, no, Sammy Watkins, yada, this guy, that guy. And Drake Berry asked me about this Josh Reynolds kid. And as I've heard of him, I wasn't too familiar with Josh Reynolds, to be completely honest. And I did my research over the last night, and a lot of interesting things. I've actually found some connections of him and the Bengals. And just like that, I am all in. There's too much to like about this kid to not want him in a Cincinnati Bengals uniform next year. And I think I'm going to get you guys to fall in love with him. Now, the chat is there if you're here live, or if you are watching this post-production. The chat is there and the comment section is there. So make sure you guys are getting active too, what you think about Reynolds and the rest of the Bengals free agency period. The whole point of doing this live, and I still reply post-production people who comment after the video or after the stream is up. The whole point is so I can interact with you guys. I would love to know your thoughts. This time around, it's Josh Reynolds. So let's go ahead and focus in on that. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of backstory of Josh Reynolds. Let me go ahead and pull my my sources up, all that good stuff. Shout out to LT. Okay, yeah, you said the chat is to the left. Yeah, I have no idea why that was a thing, but I did see it. Little Josh says, I want Trey Turner and Larry Warford. We talked about both of them yesterday in the stream. I remember. Ross is actually, first off, thank you to the donation, Buzz, and shout out to Buzz. I forgot to give him a shout out too. He is one of the members that helps me or supports the channel every month. But Ross is actually already gone. He is actually signed to another team already. I believe he's with the Giants with Kenny Golladay. The Giants have made a lot of moves. Kyle Rudolph, John Ross, Golladay. And they get Saquon Barkley back. So he is gone. We let him walk, and I believe that was the best option possible. If we couldn't trade him, I think he just needed a new scenery to maybe revive some of his career. So I feel like that was best for Cincinnati and John Ross. And best of luck to him and his rest of his career. It's too bad it didn't pan out like it should have. Nonetheless, let's get into Josh Reynolds talk before we start talking other players and all that stuff. I'm going to go over his basic background before I get into my reasons as of why we need to bring him in. So Josh Reynolds was born February 16th, 1955. So he's only 26 years old, and he's hitting free agency, and he's pretty cheap and expandable, and I will hit on that. But 26 years old, you don't have many guys hit the market like that are 26 and not getting big bucks. Kenny Golladay is a year or two older than that, and he's getting big-time bucks because this is their prime. If you can get a guy in these mid-ages where they haven't hit that ceiling yet, this is huge. So my first thing, he's young. My second thing is because he's young, the ceiling is high with him. The ceiling is very high with Josh Reynolds compared to these other veteran guys. They aren't really as high. They kind of are what they are already. So that is very, I definitely like that a lot. He is 6'3", 196, so very good size. He's tall, but he's not too big. And I'll let you know right now, if he became a receiver of the Cincinnati Bengals, he would be the fastest receiver on the roster. I've got a couple questions about talking on Facebook and everything on my other pages that I talk about it on. And they were like, if he comes, what's his 40? I might dive into that. I might see if I have to find it. I lost it. But his 40 time is faster than any other Bengals receiver on the roster, and he's 6'3". So you love to see that. He is a Texas kid, born in, looks like he's went to high school in San Antonio, Texas, went to Texas A&M, and then got drafted in 2017, round 4 pick 117 to the Rams. The problem is with the Rams, the receiver core is very, very good, and it's been very deep the whole time he's been there. They have had 2 receivers that have been 1,000 receivers, ahead of him. And let me see who that would. It'd be Cooper Kupp and what's the other receiver I'm missing right there? I'm trying to think of the other receiver. Cooper Kupp, and there's another receiver. Hold on. Come on, load. My computer's being slow. Sorry for that. But Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, 2 receivers that were ahead of him, the receiver 1 and the receiver 2 on the Rams. Both those guys were getting over 1,000 yards plus. So Josh Reynolds was kind of just getting the scraps. So he still wouldn't be the receiver 1 or receiver 2 in Cincinnati, but he would definitely be a strong suit for receiver 3 and receiver 4 position. And the Bengals play 5 wide, like 90% of the game. So he's going to get the ball. He's going to get reps. He's going to get a lot of playing time when he comes to Cincinnati. Obviously, he's going to be behind Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, and possibly Alden Tate. They would have to fight that spot out. But he would definitely be on the field a lot because the Bengals are all constantly playing either 4 wide or 5 wide out. So I feel like that could be something that he's interested in. Now, getting a little bit more into his background, he played well in college, was able to land him a mid-round pick. Let's see his height. It was 6'2", 7'8", 194, 31 and a half, arm length, 9'3" hand size. His 40-yard dash is a 4.52. 4.52. So there you go. That's faster than any other Bengals receiver on the team right now since John Ross has left. 4.13 20-yard shuttle, 6.833 cone, a 37-inch vertical, and a 10-foot broad jump. So now moving on from that, let me get into the reasons of why I believe he should, or the Bengals should at least offer Reynolds. I'm not saying it's going to be the end of the world if we don't get him, because we can still draft a receiver, anywhere in the draft, really. It could be the first round with the first pick. It could be second pick, third pick. We could even draft good receivers in the fourth, fifth, and sixth round. But I really think it really helps us expand. And when you pick up somebody like this on a cheap deal, you don't have to draft a receiver. If we don't sign him, we have to draft a receiver at some time in the draft because we aren't deep enough. But if you have someone like that, you have options. If you want to draft a tight end instead of a receiver, you can do that. If you want to draft a lineman instead of a receiver, you can do that because you're giving yourself more options on the team. They also had Brandon Cooks. Yes, Chase, thank you for that. I think it might have been who. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit that. I think it's who it might have actually been instead of Robert Woods. Correct me if I'm wrong. But anyways, I'm going to get some stats from Twitter. Joe Goodberry put these out there. So if you look at the Bengals receiver average depth of target, it was 14.1 to A.J. Green, 12.9 to Higgins, 8.8 to Boyd, 15.3 Ross, and 12.9 Tate. If you look at Reynolds, it's 11.4, and if you look at Watkins, it was 15.9 with the Rams. So if you look at his fourth NFL season last season, he had 81 targets and he caught 55 of them, 68% for 683 yards. Those are all career highs. So his first 3 seasons, he didn't see the field. He didn't really see the field much. And when he was, they kind of just had him on kind of scat plays, little screen plays, end arounds, quick out routes. Kind of plays like that his first 3 seasons. Last season, he kind of had his best season. He had career highs in basically everything: receptions, yards, catches. I mean, he kind of had a bigger year. It's just so hard when he has all these talented receivers around him. It was pretty tough for him to ball. He has ran 30% of his routes from the slot, which I think is pretty interesting. I feel like if we want to run him through the slot, we definitely can. But I feel like he also could be that outside man if we want to throw somebody else like Tyler Boyd in the slot on some of the routes and put him outside, because he's 6'3". He definitely can be outside for sure. And if he can be a slot at 6'3", that's, the more the better, right? It looks like they played him sometimes on the deep ball down the field if he got past some guys. But majority of times, he's just creating space. He's doing these little in routes, out routes from empty sets. He's able to get open quick to get the ball out of the quarterback's hands fast. What does that sound like? Who's that sound like? That's the Cincinnati Bengals offense. You know what I mean? They get the ball out under 3 seconds because Joe Burrow is going to be running for his life if not, because the offense line has been so tremendously bad, right? Obviously, we're looking for that to improve next season, but still, you can't just rely on it just being instantly better. You can hope that it will get better, and, let's pray that it does. But if it doesn't, having another guy like this that he can get the ball out quickly, that's even more the better for Joe Burrow. Let's see what this is. So Joe Goodberry says he wouldn't call him an elite athlete, but he has pretty good athleticism for his size. Just wouldn't technically call him elite. Questions, comments, concerns, put it in the comment section. Now we're gonna. Woo! Woo! Did you see me jump? Did you guys see me jump? I got so scared. I guess the subscriber thing is working out. Shout out to Jay Cook becoming the most recent subscriber in the DC TV family. You now have a shot to win a free Bengals jersey giveaway. I guess I shouldn't say jersey. Just drink Gatorade. Make sure you drink drink a gallon of water a day. Nonetheless, sorry, I'm in my zone. But thank you for subscribing, man. So nonetheless, so this is the SB Nation Cincy Jungle page. They titled this, Josh Reynolds remains a possible option for the Bengals. Basically, what they talk about is just common sense. So, Kenny Golladay ends up going to the Giants, right? Cincinnati whiffs. It's okay. I honestly wasn't that heartbroken. We're going to save a lot of money in our pocket to pay Jesse Bates and a bunch of other guys next season with that money. And we're going to be able to sign some more guys this season or this offseason if we really want to, because of that. Now, you can get somebody who's less caliber of him. We really don't need Kenny Golladay. We got other receivers, but you can bring a guy in that's going to be pretty cheap. I mean, Reynolds won't be that expensive. And once again, like I said, you always have that 1-year option to give a player this season or this offseason because the salary cap is so low. That's why you've seen guys like Juju and all these other really good talents take 1-year deal because the salary cap is so low. They're going to play their butts off this season, maximize the money they can make next season when the salary cap is back up. You could definitely see that with Josh Reynolds. Considering he's only 26 years old, he'll hit the free agency market next season at 27, right in his prime. If he has a pretty good, decent season, he'll make even more money. Nonetheless, vice versa, I think the other way around, you could also say that we could sign him to a 2 or 3 year deal. Honestly, that's pretty cheap. I mean, he didn't make that much money with this rookie contract because he was a mid-round pick, and he hasn't produced much. I'll give you his stats from the previous seasons. It's not impressive just because he didn't see the light of day on the field. Wait for it to load. So let me go up and pull up his stats via Pro Football Reference. 2017, his rookie season, he only started one game, and he had 24 targets, 11 receptions, 104 yards, and no touchdowns that whole season. He just didn't really play much, honestly. 2018, you see much of the same. He started 8 games instead of 1 game, had 53 targets, 29 receptions, 400 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Excuse me, he had 1 touchdown. He had 1 touchdown his rookie season. His sophomore season, he gets 5 touchdowns, which will be a career high for him in his career so far. And the receptions jump. It was a pretty decent season. Now 2019 rolls around, and he only starts 2 games. So it's like they just pulled his games down, 6 less games than before. But he still had 43 targets, 21 receptions, 326 yards. And let's see how many touchdowns he had. He had only 1 touchdown, so his production is going to go down because his time is going down. And then last season, he started 13 games, 81 targets, 52 receptions, 618 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So obviously, he got a lot more targets, a lot more receptions, more yards. I mean, he only had 2 touchdowns, but when you have Cooper Kupp, Woods, they got all these guys, it's going to be hard to look just strictly for him in the end zone. It's also Jared Goff. You know what I mean? So I'm personally, you can call me biased, but I would rather have Burrow than Goff. Goff has been, had a lot of playoff success, been to a Super Bowl in a very young career, so I'll give him that. No hate upon those lines. But as you can tell, he hasn't been able to scratch the ceiling of his potential. He has just not been able to be unleashed to just, hey, man, go do this. We got you. Yeah, he did start 13 games, and they, let him go, but he was a 3rd or 4th option. And, yeah, I'm sitting here saying that he'll be a 3rd or 4th option in Cincinnati, but I just, personally, I just think with how we play and how quickly we get the ball out, I feel like Burrow might latch onto this guy. Why do you think he hit T. Higgins so much that last season? Was because Higgins is open within 3 seconds. If not, he'll go jump over somebody like he did multiple times in last season. This will only help free up space with T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. If he's in the slot or if he's on the outside, letting Tyler Boyd go to the slot, well, that's going to benefit Tyler Boyd, which benefits Joe Burrow. So I think when it comes full circle, you won't pay this guy a lot of money because he hasn't produced very often. He hasn't been able to do much in his short career. But as you can tell, there is a lot to like here. Somebody that has so much potential, and a lot of the other guys are what they are. I've seen a lot of people talk about Sammy Watkins. In my opinion, Sammy Watkins, I think his best years are already behind him. I know he's not that old. He's only 29 or 30. I just feel like, he's already kind of scratched that potential, in my opinion. Where Josh Reynolds, this guy could have a monster season next season. Or even if he only has 600 yards, 50-plus receptions, that's better than Mike Thomas getting that play. Or a rookie that's going to be a 4th or 5th round pick. Now you could say, oh, what about Jamar Chase? What if we get this receiver, that receiver with that 1st round pick? But what if we don't have to? What if we can get an all-time offensive lineman that can be our offensive lineman to protect Burrow for the next 10 seasons? What if we can get Kyle Pitts, the best generational tight end coming out of college, ranked from, Mel Kiper Jr. of all time? He said is the best tight end he's seen. So, what if we are able to have options because we get this guy? Or what if we get him and then we still draft a receiver that only adds more? You know what I mean? I just feel like this gives the Bengals so much more room. to be able to do what they want. That's why I liked when the Bengals signed Riley Reef, and hopefully they bring back Quinton Spain, and hopefully they can look at Trey Turner, because the more you have, the better. If there's anything the Cincinnati Bengals should have learned last season, it should be that you need depth to compete. The Bengals, they had injuries at every position: quarterback, running back, tight end, receiver, offensive line, defensive line. Some linebackers got hurt, but not bad. Corners were hurt because Trey Waynes didn't play the whole season. The safeties didn't. I mean, look, that's at least 8 positions. That's 8 positions. I'm not even counting players. You just need depth. Look at the 49ers. The 49ers really have a lot of they are one of the best talent. Like, they have almost I'd say top 10 talent talented rosters in the entire National Football League. Their whole team got hurt. Quarterback, running back, receiver, tight end, offensive line, every single position got hurt. They had over 20 to 30 plus injuries at one point in the season, all at one time. And yes, they didn't, have playoff success or make the playoffs or whatever, but they were competing. That is good coaching, and that is good job by the management by being able to have a team that has a lot of depth. Coaching and management, and they were competing when in games they shouldn't have been competing. They're in such a tough division. They shouldn't have competed, and they still did with injuries. Nonetheless, I'm gonna bring it to this. Okay, Drew, why him over Sammy Watkins? Why him over the draft picks? Why him over the other guys? Because this is low risk, high reward. I want you to remember that. If there's one thing you can take away from this stream, low risk, high reward. You couldn't say that with Kenny Golladay. That's high risk, possibly high or low reward. You pay him so much money, you better hope it pays off. You better hope he has over 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns, 70 receptions. If he doesn't have more than that, well, you overpaid. That is called high risk. You can draft Jamar Chase with the 5th pick in the NFL, but if he's a bust or if he doesn't live up to a 5th round pick hype, well, that's high risk. You can go get Sammy Watkins, who will probably want more money than Josh Reynolds, but that's I wouldn't call it high risk, but that might be a little bit more of a risk because he might want more money. Do you see where I'm getting here? The Bengals organization isn't risky. So that is why I wouldn't be making this stream if I didn't think it was realistic that the Cincinnati Bengals were going to have a shot on this kid, because it's low risk, high reward. The Bengals, since I've been alive, since I was born in 2001, they have never taken high risk. Never. They love low risk, or they love low risk players, undrafted free agents, low drafted guys, because if they stink, it don't matter. It don't matter because it was low risk, high reward. Do you see where I'm getting here? History repeats itself, and that's why I think this guy has a great chance to be a Cincinnati Bengal in 2021. Now, if you aren't, if you're still not on board, you're still on the fence, I'm not sure yet. Well, Zach Taylor. Where did Zach Taylor came from? He came from the Rams. Well, he got hired in 2017 to be the receivers coach. Well, who got drafted in 2017 as a receiver to the Rams? Josh Reynolds. So they have previous experience, and he already knows the system. So if you go draft a kid or sign Sammy Watkins or somebody else, they got to learn the whole new system. Where Josh Reynolds, yeah, he's going to have to pick up on some things, but these guys are already locked in. They have experience with each other. If Zach Taylor thinks this kid has high potential, he's already going to know because he already had a few seasons with him being his receiver coach. That was his job, was saying I'm sure he was part of drafting that kid being the receiver coach. If you're going to draft the receiver, obviously you got the GM, the coach, but you're going to ask the receiver coach, hey, is this guy legit? Hey, is this guy good? And then the scouts, all those guys. So I don't know what else you could say. So there's a lot of green flags, no red flags here. Out of those games, he didn't start all of them, but he was available for every single game. Every single game. 16 games 2017, 16 games 2018, 16 games 2019, 16 games 2020. No, he's not injury prone. I don't know what there is to not like about this kid. With that being said, how are we feeling, Houday Nation and DCTV family? How are we feeling from that? Let me catch up in the chat real quick. Madison King, why don't you want Reynolds? Or Madden King, sorry. Madden King, why don't you want Reynolds? Explain. If John said, if you like him, I like him. I'm going to Miss Green. Yeah, it's gonna be weird seeing him in a different uniform, but it was the best choice for both sides. Yes, this guy, yeah, our number one receiver is gonna be Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, Alden Tate. Those are our 3 receivers, and then you got Mike Thomas, which you could say he is what he is. So you got those 4 guys. You got to draft somebody, and you might have to sign somebody too. You need at least 5 to 6 receivers. You just have to have them because of injuries. I would rather have TY Hilton. Well, I hope you know TY Hilton's going to be a pretty penny. I mean, TY Hilton's not going to be cheap. You sign TY Hilton, well, the Bengals now have their hands tied and won't be able to sign somebody else. You know, I like TY Hilton. He's very talented. I like the Colts organization, and I love how he's been loyal to them his whole career so far. But, you know, I haven't seen any connections between T.Y. Hilton to the Bengals, nor do I just think the Bengals are going to pay him the money that he probably wants. Now, the only way I would say that could probably realistically happen is if T.Y. Hilton takes a 1-year deal. If we play T.Y. Hilton a 1-year deal, and then he hits the market next season, goes somewhere else and gets paid, okay, well, that would kind of make sense for both sides. But I just don't see that realistically happening. T.Y. had 760 yards last year at 33. Okay, well, he's going to be 34 this season. This kid's almost 10 years younger. You know, I will say it's good to have veterans because this team is so young and really it's kind of lackluster of veterans, so I don't really oppose that. But, you know, if you want T.Y. Hilton, you want T.Y. Hilton. If I want Josh Reynolds, I want Josh Reynolds. You know, I'm not opposed to T.Y. Hilton. It's just in this situation, I just think this makes more sense. But, hey, I'm going to respect your decision. My point is not just picking my favorite player, but to try to make it realistic. What could the Bengals actually do? I've seen 0 on T.Y. Hilton going to the Bengals. I've seen a little bit. I've seen some rumors and some logical sense of this kid and Zach Taylor having some previous experience and possibly going to Cincinnati. So, you know, you put 2 and 2 together. And John Lee says he's a steal. And that's what it could be. I mean, even if it's only a 1-year deal, I'm just so in love with the fact that it's, you know, low risk, high reward. Or if it's low risk, low reward, well, I mean, you didn't have to give up much. You get T.Y. Hilton and he doesn't produce much. That's high risk, low reward because you paid the man a lot of money. But hey, if he does produce, then you get rewarded nonetheless. And yeah, that's a good point, Lil Josh. I mean, we lost AJ Green, John Ross, and Alex Erickson. That's what I'm saying. Right now on the roster, we only have 3 or 4 receivers. We have Boyd, Higgins, Tate, and Mike Thomas. Those are the 4 receivers we have on the roster. So even if we're going to have to draft somebody if it's mid to late rounds. But this is why I think we should sign somebody, especially someone who's not going to want a big-time deal. What's up, 691 Bengals fan? TY would be cool, but he's expensive. That's what I'm trying to say. That's exactly my whole point. Kenny Golladay, he's really cool. He would be awesome to have. Really expensive. $40 million guaranteed, 72 total. A lot of money, high risk. You know, and this is why I don't want to go get somebody who's a superstar because I want our young guys to develop. I don't want T.Y. Hilton taking a piece of pie from T. Higgins. T. Higgins is our future. T. Higgins is our, you know, he will be our number 1 receiver one day. Yeah, it's just going to happen. So I don't want T.Y. Hilton taking a piece of his pie. Josh Reynolds comes in. He's not taking a big slice of, you know, T. Higgins' pie. He might take a little slice. Might take a, 25 to 50 receptions. 250 to 700 yards, 0 to 5 touchdowns. That's T. Higgins is still going to get his. You know what I mean? He's still going to be able to develop. The one thing I guess I could say that I would like more about TY Hilton than Reynolds would be that TY Hilton would definitely draw more double teams than Josh Reynolds. Kind of just like AJ Green. AJ Green was basically just a dummy out there, a big decoy just to draw double teams so everyone could get free up on single coverage. That's basically all the entire season for AJ Green last year. It is what it is. Watch the tape. But that's going to be helpful for the other guys. So I guess you could say T.Y. Hilton would draw in some more double coverages, which would be nice. But once again, he's 34, 35 years old. Are guys really going to be taking him serious to coverage him? I mean, we're going to be going up against some good secondaries and linebacking crews and defenses in general in our division. Our division, we're the only team that didn't make the playoffs last season. The other three teams all made the playoffs, so we're in one of the best divisions in football, if not the best division. So you got to compete. And you got to sign guys who are going to compete. Cringe Wizard says, if they sign Turner, then I think they are drafting Chase 100%. I don't think it's 100% at all. I don't think they're that sold over Pitts. I don't think you could just put Chase 100% and Pitts 0%. I think that'd be kind of ignorant, in my opinion, and I don't think they would do that. I mean, Pitts is a once-in-a-generational talent at the tight end position, is what all the scouts are saying. Even if they still do pick Chase, I'm not saying they won't, but to just throw everybody else out the window, throw Waddle out the window. You just throw out Pitts, you throw all these other guys, you throw all the other, Slater, Panay. Just because we signed Trey Turner doesn't mean our offense line is obviously top 10 in the league. You could still address it. I think you guys are forgetting Reef is only on a 1-year deal. He will probably leave next season to go get bigger pay somewhere else. It's just realistic. You still are going to have to build and groom somebody behind him. So maybe it's not with that first pick. Maybe it's not Panay. Maybe it's not Slater. But you still got to address the position. And once again, depth. We have no depth. We have 0 right guards on the roster. Well, that's not good depth. I mean, you don't even have a starting right guard right now. And that's why I also think the Bengals need to re-sign Quinton Spain. If you think he's going to be your starter or your backup or whatever you think he's going to be, I would love to have Quinton Spain back on this team. And I'm a fan of Quinton Spain, and I want to see him back in Cincinnati. We definitely need to sign a receiver in free agency. If Reynolds is top available for cheap, then we need that. And that just sounds like Bengal football, Bengals organizational decisions. Who can we get that's, what do I keep? I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it the whole freaking stream, and that's why I think this decision could really come to life. Low risk, high reward. My man Buzz says, as long as we can get the people to protect Burrow, I think we can make any receiver work. And yeah, that's great. That's why I'm saying no matter what, that is why I did the Trey Turner video before I did the Josh Reynolds video. You know what I mean? Like, the offensive line is still at number one. We have to fix the offensive line before we fix anything. Just because we signed Riley doesn't even mean our offensive line is nearly being finished. The first thing is he's only on a 1-year deal. The second thing is we have 0 right guards on roster. So we still got to address that. Jason said Ocho's coming out of retirement. My man Ocho's right here, man. Look at that guy. Best Bengals receiver of all time. Say what? If you were in the stream last night, me and what some people were getting into about AJ Green versus Chad, but it's all fun and games. Jason said whatever helps the team. Well, Higgins may get injured. It only makes sense to get another. And not even just Higgins, just anybody. I mean, we got to learn. If there's one thing the Bengals could have learned last season, 1, protect Burrow. 2, you got to have depth. I mean, we were hurt at every single position. You got to have multiple guys to step up when you need them. I don't know what more of a bigger lesson they could have learned last season. If you guys are enjoying today's video and you want to see Josh Reynolds or any other free agent, you want to see the Bengals continue making moves and possibly sign Josh Reynolds, I'm going to go ahead and ask you guys to smash the like button for me. And if you like what you're seeing, hit the subscribe button and join the DCTV family. Fastest growing Bengals network. And jersey giveaway at 2K subs, as you probably already know. I think Ray is a low risk high reward, but I'm in love with the idea of giving Tate a chance that he never had. Well, I totally agree. You know, I don't want to say this out of disrespect of Alden Tate. I love Alden Tate. I actually predicted last season, before the season, when I was doing my videos, you know, predicting player predictions, I predicted Alden Tate to have a pretty damn big season. And I was obviously wrong. Obviously, he got shoulder surgery at the end of the season. You know, he had a backup quarterback for half the season. Like, it really just didn't go his way. He was pushed down the depth chart. You know, Mike Thomas was getting playing time over him sometimes. Alex Erickson was getting playing time over him sometimes. You know, I really don't know what was happening with Alden Tate. It could have been the injury that he ended up having to getting surgery on his shoulder. I'm really not too sure the exact reason. But yeah, I want to see Alden Tate. He is so... Go back to my videos last season. I was just so in awe of his physical physique. I mean, he is just a Greek god stuck in a receiver body, or a receiver stuck in a Greek god body, but in a good way. Like, that's a very good thing. I mean, he is just... I mean, he probably has less than 3% body fat on his body, and he's over... Well, how much does he weigh? I don't even know. I mean, the guy is a Greek god, and I really want to see him have a lot of success. And I say the reason why he would have success is because that would be Burrow's #1 target in the end zone. I said I would think that he would have, you know, 7+ touchdowns at least, and he would probably be Burrow's #1 target when it gets in the red zone. Well, I was wrong, and I'm kind of upset that I'm wrong, because I hate being wrong about those things, but I don't know why they wouldn't target him more in the end zone last season. So yes, I want to see Alden Tate, but let me keep in mind, we have to sign guys if we like Tate or not. If you want to see Tate to have his time or not, you got to have competition, and you got to have guys in the locker room. Like, what we have 4 receivers: Mike Thomas, Tyler Boyd, or Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, Mike Thomas, Alden Tate. That's all we have on the roster right now. Ross is gone. Erickson's gone. The Green's gone. You got to have at least 5 receivers, and I think we need at least 6 or 7, because don't forget, the Bengals 75% of the game run 4 out, and like probably 10% of the game, or probably more than 10%, run 5 out. Like I'd probably say 85% of the game, the Bengals are either running 4 out or 5 out. And yeah, you could say, oh, well, that's where the tight ends come in. DJ Uzama's coming off an injury. Drew Sample wasn't that great. And then that's where I would bring in that I think Kyle Pitts would still contend with Jamar Chase, is because Kyle Pitts, even though he would line up as tight end, well, I mean, he would still probably line up as receiver sometimes as well, because of 5 out. And then the linebacker or the running backs also, you know, Mixon or Bernard or whoever the running back will line up. I get that, but you would need at least 5, 6 receivers on our roster with just how we play. You know, we're such a heavy aerial attack team. Dave said, what do you think about the Denver's Tim Patrick? Similar numbers to Reynolds. Yeah, I like Tim Patrick. Once again, I haven't seen any connection between them, so that's probably why I haven't made a video about it. You know, when I'm making these videos, I'm logically being realistic about it. Like the connection that Reynolds has with Zach Taylor, of Zach Taylor being his receiver coach 4 years ago. But I like Tim Patrick. I'm pretty sure he's a bigger guy too, right? Like over 6 foot. Because Reynolds is 6'3", and he would still be the fastest receiver on the team. Yeah, Tim Patrick's 6'4", so he's probably not as fast because he's 212. But I mean, yeah, last season, 742 yards, 50 receptions, 6 touchdowns. The season before that, he really didn't do much. So yeah, pretty similar stats. Actually, right on that. A little different, but pretty similar. Yeah, I mean, I like that, but once again, I'm not going to come out with the stream with that because I just haven't seen anything where there's been a connection between them. But he seems like a good player, and if he's putting up those numbers with Drew Lock, he could do totally something different with a real quarterback. The other 4 receiver: Boyd, Higgins, Tate, Thomas. We still have Stanley Morgan Jr., Trent Aaron, Scotty Washington. If those guys make the cut, I mean, do we really not want to sign someone pretty cheap, but then have like practice squad players make it on? I don't know. I guess we'll see. We have to play the Chiefs next season, says diehard Bengals fan. That's one thing we do have to do. Is that an away game or a home game? I know the schedule isn't out, but they say which ones are home or which one's away. Is the Chiefs game, where's that at? Is that in Paul Brown? Love Spain. Re-sign Quinton Spain. Quinton Spain. I like Spain. Yeah. I mean, I don't know any people who are opposed of not re-signing Quinton Spain. I mean, that guy left the Buffalo Bills organization not because of his play, but because he had some, he was not satisfied with it. Got dropped off, instantly came over to Cincinnati like a few days later, signed and played a hell of a season, was a true leader on that, injury-ridden offensive line. And he looked great and he looked like a good locker room guy from what I could see. So I don't know why they wouldn't want to bring him back. I know he's like 28 to 30 age range. I mean, a 1-2 year deal. Why wouldn't you bring him back? Once again, if they think they're going to draft a guard or they're a tackle and move him to guard and you don't think Spain will start, it's depth. Why wouldn't you want that on your team? You need it. If you like it or not, you need it. And he's older. This team is so green and so young. You need some veterans in the locker room. Quinton Spain would be that. He definitely would. So I want to make a stream on Quinton Spain himself, but I haven't seen any news on Quinton Spain as of yet. If you guys see any news come out, please add me on Twitter and tweet me like at me or whatever, or send me a message, DM me, or DM me on Instagram if you see any news of Quinton Spain or any of these other guys. Send me a screenshot or send me it and let me know, and I'll hop right on screen and talk about it. I'm just trying to keep being realistic of situations that could happen. I don't want to go out here and say, Bengals need to go trade for OBJ. You know what I mean? Oh, here's just a little Joe Burrow fact for you. Here's just a reminder. Joe Burrow threw 13 touchdowns while running 3 in through 2,888 yards of 65% completion percentage while being pressured most plays and sacked 32 times. He did this in only 10 games and without even playing the easy part of the schedule. Shout out to Payne Backup Account on Twitter. Not sure who you are, but some good content right there. Sorry, real quick. I'm just checking, seeing if I'm missing any news. All right, what are we saying? What are we saying? Get active in the chat if you're not already, baby, and hit that like button. Chase says AJ over Chad. We draft, Low Josh says we draft Sewell or Slater. Or, yeah. Other tackles we have, maybe you said maybe, I don't know what you mean. Because, we do have, we have Jonah Williams, Reef, Johnson, and Adenje. And we just drafted Adenje late in the draft last season. As a fan, during both of their primes, AJ was great, but Chad changed the game. Says Buzz. Oh, I can't see. Let me pull up the chat from over here. Sorry, I can't see right now. All right. Let's see. I want to see Mike Thomas get playing time so I can pretend we have Michael Thomas. That's a good one, diehard. I'll give it to you. Madden King, 6 receivers. You mean like that's what we have on the team? But I mean, are those guys like actually going to be competing in the NFL? Uh, Landon Bell says any tight ends you would sign. I was all over Kyle Rudolph, and I think I was the only Cincinnati content creator slash fan pushing for him because I didn't make a video on him, which I wish I would have. Looking back on it, just proving my points, and I had a lot of them of why he'd be a great fit in Cincinnati. But I was all over it on Twitter, and it didn't get any. My tweets weren't getting any likes about Kyle Rudolph. It was getting no response. Nobody else picked up on it, so I was pretty disappointed on the Bengals community not picking up Kyle Rudolph. He's a Cincinnati kid. If you're from Cincinnati, he went to Elder High School. He's a big 5'13" kid. You always have a kid that can come back and retire and be with the team where he's from. He was amazing in Minneapolis. He was, he had good playoff success, good regular season success. He was a team captain. He did great things in the community. He built a whole hospital branch. I believe called the End Zone. There's a 60 for 60 on it. Go watch if you haven't already. He's a Cincinnati kid. It talks about all the amazing things he did in the Minneapolis community, and I wanted him to come. I wanted him to come here. I wanted him to come to Cincinnati, retire. He's I think 28 to 31 range, so he's getting up there. He's not great, but he's good. He's solid. He's good run blocking. He can go out and make good possessive catches in the end zone, which is what the Bengals need. They need more of that. I thought he would have been a perfect fit. He's not, he's expandable. He's not expensive. It's exactly what the Bengals should have looked into, but I guess there was really no interest from either side, which is unfortunate. Obviously, there's a little bit of personal. He's one of my favorite players just because Cincinnati kid. But other than that, I'm not too sure. You got Drew Sample, who you just, got drafted in the second round not too long ago, or second or third round. A few years ago. You got CJ Uzama coming off injury. I believe Seathan Carter is a free agent. He played fullback and tight end. Am I correct on that? Last time I saw he was a free agent. So I don't know if we're re-signing him or if we're looking at any other guys. But another reason why I think the Bengals might go in on Pitts is because if they don't sign or pick up, somebody off a practice squad that's a tight end position, what's that tell you? Because they know they're going to get Pitts with that first round pick. That's a little bit of my theory, I guess you could put towards it. But who are the tight ends that are still in free agency? Who's left? You got Nick Mullins from the 49ers, Brian Hoyer from the Patriots. Oh, wait, no, that's just remaining. That's quarterbacks. Sorry, that's embarrassing. Oh, by the way, you can see the top remaining free agent receivers in 21. And he has TY Hilton 1, Antonio Brown 2, Sammy Watkins 3, Josh Reynolds 4. So you can see Hilton and Watkins are both above him, but I'll disagree. And this is per EFN staff 18 minutes ago. All right, tight ends. Trey Burton from the Colts, Tyler Eifert from the Jags. What if we get a Tyler Eifert return to Cincinnati? What do you guys think about that? Jordan Reed, Jesse James, Richard Rodgers, Mercedes Lewis, Michael Pruitt, Darren Fells. I haven't seen interest the Bengals have drawn from either of those guys, but I don't really know what the tight end market is right now because of COVID and the salary cap being less. So I'm sure if they did sign a tight end, it would probably be a 1-year deal. Crow says he wants TY. Hey, you guys can go spend all the money and tie the Bengals salary cap up and not be able to afford anything else. Go ahead. But hey, I'm also not going to be mad if they do bring him in. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'll hate it. I like it, but Oh wow, the Chiefs game is gonna be in Cincinnati. Uh, uh, Tyler Boyd is gonna have a breakout season, says Landon. I mean, yeah, the way it's looking with the receivers we have, him and T are gonna be heavy on the targets, and I might even say Alden Tate, if he doesn't get any competition, he's probably looking at a breakout season. For his stats, Tyler Boyd breakout season's obviously another 1,000-yard season with 65 plus receptions. Dave says Rudolph would have been lit. Travis says, "Are we gonna bring back Sean Williams?" I don't think so. I'm pretty sure he was part of the locker room issue they had earlier on the season. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he was one of the guys that was having locker room issues because he really played no defensive snaps there for a part of the season, and strictly it got moved over just to special teams. So I'm not too sure. If he did go, it wouldn't be the biggest issue. Although I've met Sean Williams in real life, so shout out him. Rudolph is good friends with Reef. Well, yeah, because they're both from Minnesota. So, I thought it made sense, but maybe I'm wrong. I thought maybe it makes sense because they're both from Minnesota. DJ makes $6 million. That's a big year for him. Oh, okay, so yeah, so Carter signed with the Dolphins. Okay, I didn't see that. Hey, everyone, get some buzz and get some buzz hype in the chat. Shout out to Buzz, Houday man. Take it easy. Try to take it easy. Don't work too hard, but work your butt off at the same time. And as always, thank you for the donation, Buzz. All right. Thoughts on Russell Okung? I don't think he would really fit on our team anymore because I don't think he'd switch to guard unless he has experience at guard, which I wouldn't know of. If the Bengals sign anybody, they would have to be able to be ready to play guard. And 6'5", 310, that'd be a pretty big guard. And I know he's usually tackle. So if he has guard position or experience in the past, I'd say consider him. But if he hasn't played guard, then I wouldn't think really much of it. Hashtag Bengals should sign Nick Mullins at tight end. Madden King said Joe Burrow fact. Joe Burrow's had less than 3 seconds to throw or roll out on average. Sounds about right. I think Jesse James is the best available tight end at 27. Hey, I see you, Buzz. You'll get there soon. AB would be a funny signing. Just can't, man. I honestly don't think AB will sign anywhere. I don't think he'll play anywhere that doesn't have Tom Brady on the roster. I think he goes where Tom Brady goes. I just don't see anybody else putting up with his antics than Tom Brady because it seems like Tom Brady is the only guy on the planet Earth that can control him. Not a lawyer, not a coach, not an agent, just Tom Brady. Somehow, some way, Tom Brady works his magic, Michael says still need to work on the O-line. Hey, man, that's why we had a Trey Turner stream yesterday for 3 hours talking about Trey Turner. And if that doesn't work out, then getting Warford. And if that doesn't work out, bring back Quinton Spain and draft Slater or Panay or somebody at 5. So I agree. The O-line is first and foremost. But outside of that, I do think they need to bring in somebody at receiver. And I don't really want to go everything, but John Reynolds still is my leading guy for the receiver core to bring in. Obviously, T.Y. Hilton's a good guy. I mean, let's go back to that receiver list and all the people that are, T.Y. Hilton, all these other guys. Let's see what they bring in that, Reynolds doesn't. Obviously, T.Y. Hilton's the better player, the more proven player. Let's look at T.Y. Hilton, what he's been doing the past few seasons. All right, T.Y. Hilton. Hey, T.Y. Hilton is actually, I like him a little bit more now. He's born November 14th. I'm born November 13th, so I'll give him some props for that. Obviously, 5'10", so a lot shorter than Reynolds and a lot of these other guys. 5'10", he's 31 years old, so he is older as well. But let's look up statistically. He's coming off a season with 56 receptions, 762 yards, and 5 TDs. And then in 2019, 45 receptions, 500 yards, and 5 touchdowns. So he's being, he's not the player he once was. I think we all realize that. But he's still a great 2 on most teams. And probably he's playing slot if I had to guess. Another dono. Let's go. Well, all my proven facts and stats that I actually looked up over the last night after Drake, shout out to Drake, actually asked about Reynolds in general. That was like the first 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I'd say from minute 5 to minute 25 is like I went on a huge craze about this guy backing up with facts and stats. So that's about it. Now we're just going over his competitive options. If we don't get him, who are other guys we can look at? And everyone's in the stream, or not everyone, but a lot of people in the streams, TY, Cincinnati, like whatever, dude. And we're just checking all the other options. So thank you, Drink, for the donation, and thank you for the idea of Reynolds. Yeah, that's where we're at. So obviously older, shorter. He'd probably definitely play more in the slot than the outside. Where Reynolds, he has 30% of his snaps were in the slot last season, and he's playing the outside too. He's 6'3", he's bigger. This guy's shorter, but Ty, he's a captain, and I would say he'd probably be. I don't know if he'd be a captain. I don't know if he'd get the captain badge, but he'd be a veteran. He'd be a leader in the locker room, a guy with some experience. So I think you'd have that over that. Stats wise, his stats are definitely better. They're more proven. But what comes with that is also higher pay. I don't think T.Y. Hilton's going to be taking a pay cut for anybody unless it's the Kansas City Chiefs. They definitely won't be taking one for the Cincinnati Bengals. So there's obviously going to be a higher risk with signing somebody like T.Y. Hilton's caliber, or a caliber player like T.Y. Hilton. Looks like he actually has had interest from Kansas City. And that's about all I see right now. There's a page by FanDuel that says best remaining destinations for T.Y. Hilton. The Colts are 3, the Chargers are 2, and Kansas City Chiefs are 1. So there's T.Y. Hilton. Questions, comments, concerns about T.Y. Hilton coming to Cincinnati? Bro says Joe Burrow for comeback player of the season or comeback player of the year. Yup, he's coming for that. Lil Josh says Who Day for life. Let's roar for 2021 NFL season. You got that, Lil Josh. Who Day, baby. Joe Burrow comeback next up with about to be next up with Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Kyle Murray. Yup. The next generation, baby. Yes, Reynolds does have good speed. I have a statistical fact that he has the fastest 40 time out of our group of receivers right now. So he would come on and probably be our fastest guy on the team right now. I like Reynolds, but I think we can get similar production from a heavy receiver. Yeah, and that's why a lot of people are saying, like, oh, we can draft, which I do agree, but it's just be able to have somebody who can come in on a low-term deal and still draft and just add more depth. Do you see what I mean? If we had to pay him $10 million and then still draft, I would be like, yeah, I agree with you. Why would you do that when you can draft? But if he's not going to be asked for a lot of money, why wouldn't you bring him in for depth? So I'm waiting for any other last comments about TY Hilton. No? Okay, we're moving on. Okay, Antonio Brown. I'm not even going to go on that. Antonio Brown's not going to be a Cincinnati Bengal. It will never happen. I don't want him a Cincinnati. Okay, next up would be Sammy Watkins. Sammy Watkins. Okay, what if we get Sammy Watkins instead? Let's look at Sammy Watkins. Sammy Watkins. 27 years old, so he's in a good range. He's I believe 2 or 3 years older from Reynolds, or 1 year. I think he's actually 1 year older. What's his height? I know he's bigger, right? Oh, he's actually shorter. What? So Reynolds is 6'3", Watkins 6'1", 205. Let's check his stats from the past few seasons. So last season, 37 receptions, 421 yards, 2 touchdowns. I believe he was fighting injuries last season. Am I correct on that? Was Sammy Watkins fighting injuries last season? I think he was. 52 receptions the season before with 673 yards and 3 touchdowns. So once again, I mean, it's the Chiefs. He would probably have more, but they just have so much damn talent. They got the best tight end in the league with Kelsey. They got Tyreek Hill, probably the best receiver, a top 3, top 5 receiver in the league. I mean, they just have weapons upon weapons upon weapons, and Sammy Watkins is just down. He's 3rd, 4th, 5th option. But I mean, he's been taking some. He took money cuts to come back and compete for Super Bowls and win some more rings. The past few seasons, I remember that being a thing. They thought he wasn't going to return. He was going to go get his money. He ended up taking a pay cut for the team and continue playing for the team. Look like in the NFL Combine, he ran a 4.43. Obviously, really, really impressive. 2018, 40 receptions, 519 yards. 2017, 39 receptions, 593 yards. 2016, 28 receptions, 430 yards. 2015 was his biggest year with 60 receptions and 1,047 yards and 9 touchdowns with the Bills. And he just really hasn't had a season even come close to that the entire rest of his career. 2014, he had 65 receptions, which was his actual career high, and 982 yards. So his first 2 seasons in his league was his best, and he really hasn't even came close to those 2 seasons. Not going to act like I didn't know that, but that is pretty insane looking at that. 2014, 2015, his 2 first seasons are his 2 best by far. He's came to about half of that at best, at 673 yards and 52 receptions. So, it's crazy. Once again, I feel like Reynolds has barely scratched that cap of potential. Potential's up there. He's just scratching it, barely reaching it because he's been stuffed down the depth chart. He just needs somebody that he knows the system like he does with Zach Taylor, and who knows, he can go off. When I look at this, I see a Sammy Watkins who, I mean, at least you know who you have, right? I can't complain about that. You're going to get someone that's going to get you at least 35 receptions, 400 yards, and at least 2 touchdowns. That's who you're going to get with Sammy Watkins. I would assume because he has more of he has more longevity in his career compared to Reynolds. Sammy Watkins is also going to be more than Reynolds. I don't know by how much, but I would assume he's definitely going to be more. So once again, that's a higher risk. What reward do you get out of it? It's a higher risk. Who knows? Does he have any rumors? Let's see. Any current rumors on Sammy Watkins? Looks like the Ravens. The Ravens, the Bills, the Rams. Those are what I'm seeing. And I don't think I've seen him schedule a meeting with Cincinnati or anything. Obviously, like with any of these players, if I saw them actually have a connection or rumors or a meeting, I would make a stream upon him. Like if it said Sammy Watkins meeting with the Cincinnati Bengals tomorrow, I would obviously hop on and make a stream and talk about Sammy Watkins and everything. So Sammy Watkins or Josh Reynolds, it's pretty close, but I mean, still after seeing TY Hilton and Sammy Watkins, I think the best situation here and the most realistic situation for Cincinnati right here is Josh Reynolds. The other guys, Adam Humphries, Demarcus Robinson, Deshaun Jackson, Marquise Goodwin, Golden Tate, and Chris Conley. Those are the other top receivers that are still out there. What do we think? What do we think? Knuckleheads, do you think Ertz or Njoku would be the better trade? I think Njoku's the better player than Ertz. But it would be more of like, you would definitely have to offer more for Njoku than Ertz, I would assume. Ertz in his prime is probably better than Njoku in his prime, but I just don't think Ertz is the same player he once was. Or maybe he just needs a new scenery. It seems like Philadelphia kind of is just destroying players' careers. And once players reach a new destination, they can kind of revive their career. Hey, Shaw, it's all good. It's tough times right now with everything going on, so I appreciate you just watching. That's all I need. Skilled Red Pill says, I agree. I'd like to hear. Reynolds and Watkins are my 1-2 options, not on AB or TY. Meh, he seems like he has fallen off. Yeah, I mean, Dave, you're right. If we're looking at Watkins and Hilton, might as well look at Deshaun. Like, that's why I just think it's just not as realistic as it is just keying in on Reynolds. And, I guess Watkins is kind of behind him, but Lil Josh, and this would be a very realistic thing, is if the Bengals signed Reynolds and then also drafted at least one receiver. I think that's actually pretty fair. If not receiver, what the New England Patriots coach Bill Belichick calls it, pass catchers, as in receivers and tight ends, anyone who can catch the ball. I think they at least sign one pass catcher, maybe even two if they get Kyle Pitts. I still think you got to sign a receiver, but just remember how much 4 and 5 outs the Bengals play. That means tight end and running backs are both lining up as receivers, and a lot of receivers, so that type of thing. And this is what I like to hear. I wasn't going to end the stream until I at least heard one person say this. And I'm ending the stream soon, but I wanted to hear at least one person say this first. I wasn't going to end it, and I wasn't going to say nothing, but now I feel like I can end the stream because this is finally said. I'm going to pin the comment before I say it. Shout out to everyone that's hit that sub button. Make sure you guys are smashing that like button too. If you've enjoyed what you like to see and you want to see Josh Reynolds as a Cincinnati Bengal, smash that like button for me. Let's get to around 50 likes. I appreciate it. Let me pin it. Okay, it's pinned. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but it's bro. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. You convinced me. Josh Reynolds seems like our best option. Hey, man, that's what I'm here for. Houday Nation. Houday Nation, that's what I'm here for. Welcome to DCTV. I'm your host, Drew Collins. That's right there is what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. How we like the shirt? I have to stand up. I like the shirt. That's what we're rocking today. It's a Sunday. No football, but at least we got March Madness, right? Anyways, this is a good question. I'll take a couple more questions before I head up out of here. If you guys haven't already, get active in that comment section. Give me a couple questions about free agency or Josh Reynolds. I'll answer a couple more before I head up out of here. And this is a good one by Jason. Jason said, with Erickson gone, special teams question mark. Yeah, I think that's where a lot of players get addressed with the UDFAs. I feel like a lot of undrafted free agents get picked up to be special teams guys, or mid to late round picks. So I would assume that's where we get guys. I would be pretty surprised if the Bengals don't, sign off and, don't sign Trey Turner, don't sign Josh Reynolds, but starts going out there to sign long snappers and other guys. Now, obviously, special teams is going to be a pretty big pickup for the Bengals because we don't have a kicker, we don't have a punter, and we don't have a we don't have a punt returner. As of right now, those are three of the biggest special teams positions. So I would assume sixth, seventh round pick, UDFA. I'd say that's where most of the kicker, punter, and punt returners come from on the team. So I would say probably pay attention to that for special teams, unless we can sign some kickers out there. Maybe that'll be a stream. Won't be as fun as the other ones, but Bengals special teams free agency options. There you go. You're welcome, Shaw. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. A little bit of the weekend we have left. Your Sunday afternoon. That's not. 1 second. Ooh, that was a close one. I don't have no idea why that's not charging. All right, sorry. That was loud. I got to make sure the mic was plugged in. Mad King says hashtag. I already read that, Mad King. I'm not reading that again. I'm sorry. But there's your fun fact. Thank you, Mad King, for the fun facts. Lil Josh says, "Hooday, man. Hooday, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Have a good rest or a good new week coming up." C Grinder says we need a linebacker, or we need a leader at linebacker. Yeah. I think that's going to come with time. We have our guys. We just have to let them develop. Keem Davis Gathers, Logan Wilson, and others. Those are all rookies or second-year guys. I mean, really, our whole linebacker core is young. So I'm not really worried about it. That's just something that's going to have to develop over time and see who steps up. If by the end of next season our guys still haven't progressed that much, then you have to look into the draft that next season, and then free agency definitely. So I think that's going to come with time. Are they going to draft another kicker? If they did, I'm sure it would be the 7th round pick. If not, I'd definitely look into UDFA. Bengals should sign Josh Gordon. What do you think? I think I'd take Reynolds over Josh Gordon. Come on. Yo, what's up, Andrew? We're actually about to head up out of here, so I'm glad you made it, but you're going to have to go back and rewatch it post-production. Does anyone else think B. Tate is start worthy? I do, John. I do. But I just want to surround more weapons around Burrow. The more, the better. Especially when they're low risk, high reward. Shaw says Buttershoes costing us some sure wins. It's obviously we need a great kicker, especially with Zach's play calling. We're gonna need somebody where we can't punch it into the end zone, or we can't. Yeah, we can't punch it to the end zone. We need someone to secure us 3 points. So I definitely agree. What do you think about Melvin Ingram in free agency? I think you would have to see where he's at financially. How much he's offering. I know he's a little bit of an older guy, so it would be good to have a little bit of a veteran presence. I think it's really just all financial, and then what the Bengals are deciding to do in the draft, because I think rounds 2 to 4 they're going to probably draft some edge rushers. So you gotta look out for that. Appreciate the dono, John. Looks like Drake wanted it, and the person wanted it, but looks like John's gonna end it. Nice. Hey, I got you, C. So I'll let this donation roll through. And if there's any last questions, put them in the chat now. Other than that, I'm going to roll out. You guys have a great rest of your Sunday. Hey, and for free agency period, it's still going on. Don't be sleeping on no news. Hit that notification bell if anything happens, any breaking news, any new rumor stories. I'll be on it. So hit that notification bell. I'll be going the rest of the week. I have a ton of thumbnails already created of more streams I'm coming out with this next season. Next week. I'm acting like I'm playing Call of Duty or something with next season. So stay tuned. We got more coming this week. What guards do you think we should be looking at for agency right now? The guards I talked about in my stream yesterday. Go rewatch it if you didn't already. Trey Turner, number 1. Warford, number 2. And then re-signing Quinton Spain, number 3. I think those are the top 3 guys the Bengals need to watch out for. So I'll answer that quickly. But appreciate it, John. Oh, John, the reason why it's not going to put your name up there is because what you sent is YouTube's, what's it called? You did a super chat, which, hey, that still benefits me. So thank you if you don't care about your name being on the screen. But because it's a super chat, it's not technically a donation, which is like not those stickers or whatever. It was a super sticker. That's why I guess my stream didn't pick up on it and put you as the recent donator. So I'm sorry about that. I just noticed that. But let's get a bunch of Who-Days in the chat before we head out of this one. Like I said, when the stream goes up and you have the actual video, get crazy in that comment section with the players you want. Do you want Josh Reynolds on this team? Yes or no? I want to hear it in the comment section post-production and all that good stuff. Spam up the Who-Days in the chat. Stay tuned. We got more coming this next week. Let's hope the Bengals continue to improve this team and protect Joe Burrow. All right. You know what that means. Stay true. Who-Day.